back with another video. So this one is another homestead questions. One of the questions that we got asked, that we get asked quite often in various different versions of the question itself, is how can I start living off-grid? What are some things that I can do to live off-grid? So for us, I think one of the most radical ways that you can start living off-grid is to do what we did. And that would be to just sell everything and jump in with both feet, or dive in head first, as you might want to say. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what we did. Sell everything or whatever you don't want to take with you. Buy land and start from scratch, mm-hmm. or start from what's already there on whatever piece of property that you buy. That being said, that's not practical for a lot of people or realistic for a lot of people, because they don't necessarily have the means or the resources to do such a thing. So we thought,
depends on your real estate market too, right? Like, so
yes,
if your real estate market's booming right now and you can double your price of your house has doubled like many places has, you could always sell it and move somewhere where it's like a quarter, a seventh of the price.
Like where we are.
Well, yeah. So it does take a little bit of coordination, but it can be done.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That being said, if you are not someone who can, or who has the means with which to do that, maybe you have a significant amount left on your mortgage, etc., and that's not doable for you, then we put together some solid suggestions for people to start practicing an off-grid lifestyle or start living an off-grid lifestyle in just smaller ways and smaller increments. The goal being, I guess, if you're wanting to do this, to be able to get to the point where you can completely be off-grid.
Absolutely. Yeah, some suggestions would be, first and foremost, be as responsible for things as you can be. Like doing them yourself rather than having a machine do it or doing it the easy way. A great example would be growing your own food and cooking your own food from scratch. As Kimberly would know, things take a lot longer and people have lost that sense of time as to how long things take to actually cook. Another example for like outdoor work is to not have a landscape company come and do your fertilizer, do your lawn care, or your hedges, dressing up your garden, whatever. Do that all yourself, because one, you're going to want to know how to do it, and secondly, living this type of lifestyle, winters are a little bit slower. However, once the spring, summer, and fall hits, I'm telling you, outdoors, I'm walking anywhere between 6 and 10 kilometers a day, easy. That's because we just walk alone in the mornings, 2 to 3 miles, just to warm up. Right? Yeah. Just to warm up.
Yeah. So on that note, and Andrew can probably say this more for himself too, but physical fitness is something that's really, really important if you're going to live an off-grid lifestyle, because when you are off-grid, depending on how off-grid you are, but if you are off-grid at all, you are your own system. You are reliant upon yourself or your partner or the teamwork between the two of you, or the family, if that's the case, to be able to do things. And so if you're not physically fit, then you're not going to be someone who can do things easily. It's going to be harder for you to do things. You're going to get less things done. You're going to be more tired. You're going to not have as much energy. That has a lot to do with what you're eating as well. I know that for us, when I started making everything, and I mean everything from scratch, even with bread, for example, we can have 2 slices of bread with bacon and eggs in the morning and be full for almost the whole day because it's real food. So that idea of physical fitness also comes from your diet too. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something else that is important as well.
No, totally. Absolutely. Another thing that you might want to practice on is how much electronics and power you consume, because depending on, like in the city, you can have so many systems running at the same time and not think about it. But when you're on a limited amount, so say you're on solar or hydroelectric or wind or anything else that may be out there, you're going to be limited to what you can do on what days you can do it, what time of day you can do it. For example, to run our wood splitter off the solar system, I need to have a sunny day in order to split the wood, because the splitter draws so much power. And so I need the solar system to keep up with that splitter. So on the cloudy days, I'm not using the splitter, but I am falling trees and bringing them over to the splitter, so that on a sunny day that I can split the wood and not fall behind on anything. So getting systems in place and understanding what needs to be done at what times. So don't be playing PlayStation all the time. Limit how much TV you're watching in the evenings, because you're going to need to do that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you really are wanting to live a true off-grid lifestyle, you're not going to have much time for electronics anyways.
If you have electric heat, you might not want to do that. And if you have, this is a great one too. You could, if you have a wood stove in your house, practice going out and getting your own wood instead of calling someone and ordering it yourself. You could just, if you have a pickup truck, right on, head out there, pick up one tree, and it'll take you maybe an hour, hour and a half to do one tree in. That's right from beginning to go. Like yesterday, I did 2 full ones in an hour and a half. And
that's by hand. That's no machinery or anything.
You just a chainsaw and an axe. That's about it. And then carrying them over to the road where I needed to load them into the truck. So
to split them, yeah. I think too, practicing unpleasant things, homestead chores, there's things that I definitely don't enjoy doing, or definitely don't, they're not on my list of favorite things to do.
Doing dishes by hand, right?
Not that I mind doing dishes. It's not like, I'm glad that I have the food to be able to cook so that I can wash dishes. But yeah, that's kind of a tedious chore. You find little things to make it enjoyable and such. But yeah, that was a big adjustment in terms of kitchen work, just the dishes themselves, right? Instead of putting them in the dishwasher, now I'm washing them. Instead of with cooking, we were talking about things taking longer to cook. Andre knows that because he knows that up here. I know it because I actually experience it, because the wood stove takes anywhere from 2 to 3 times as long to cook things, simply because it's a different kind of heat. It doesn't get quite as, not that it doesn't get quite as hot, but it doesn't get as insulated. It's not as insulated in the oven, I think. And so things it take longer to cook. So if we want to have chicken for 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, I know that it needs to be in the oven by 8 o'clock at the very latest, or it's not going to get done. So that's another.
Well, also maintaining the heat in that oven too. So you're always feeding it wood. And depending, if it's like freezing or anything above, you're absolutely sweating inside the house. It's like 30, 35 degrees. So you could also time that
You're
too.
Such an exaggerator. It's like 25, 26 sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes. But you can fix that by opening the doors. Anyways, that's an example of things, of one thing in particular that is a daily or every other day or whatever. Anytime I cook, that's something that we have to deal with if it's anywhere above freezing temperatures. So things to think about in terms of mentally preparing yourself as well, right? It's a different lifestyle. Yeah.
And maybe the last thing I would say too is back to the food sources. Look at getting your own vegetable garden going. Do 1 or 2 plants just to start off to see what it's like. There's that chicken flu that's going around, and chicken prices are going to go up. So maybe get some egg layers. Yeah, egg layers. This is the time of season to pick up your either egg layers or your meat birds, and in 8 weeks you could be having your own chicken meat without paying the big price. So learning that, getting some books, understanding how, when, and where with different plants as well. And just being more responsible, like I said at the beginning. I think that's it, eh?
Yeah, I think so.
Perfect.
Think about everything.
Thanks for watching.
Hope you found this helpful, guys. See you on the next one.